A notable Nigerian journalist recently had a tough health battle that almost took his life. Fortunately, he recovered to tell the story in a book you can describe as a memoir. Here's a report on its launch.
Guests gathered recently at Nigeria Institute of International Affairs, NIIA, Lagos, for the launch of Saved for His Praise, a book written by Prince Emeka Obasi, the publisher of Business Hallmark and the former Commissioner for Information in Abia State. The 300-page book, which was inspired by Obasi's survival of a deadly mysterious illness that almost took his life, is a memoir that narrates his horrific health crisis that lasted for 4 years, while tackling the menace of fake prophecies of occultism.
Saved for His Praise is an account of the author's battle with a debilitating illness that almost took his life. The illness, which showed his face with the niggling cough I had earlier described, started sometime in 2014 and so brought down the author into a vegetative state. A man unable to leave his room or take his bath or use the toilet or eat. A man who do not disable but was confined to a wheelchair as he was moved between hospitals. It's a story of a nameless disease. An illness medical professionals in some of the best hospitals in London could not put a name to.
Describe it as explosive, and you wouldn't be wrong. Saved for His Praise attempts to expose the permissive culture of religious hypocrisy and the monster of fake prophecies in churches. Speakers at the event addressed this as they eulogized the author.
Truly, Emeka is a man on a journey. God has not finished with him yet. He's going somewhere. We haven't seen anything yet concerning him. He's a person, somebody I know very well. He's very passionate. He believes truly in everything that he does. So I know God is taking you somewhere, my brother.
Well, let me just tickle our imagination a bit and try and position the proliferation of fake prophets against the backdrop of the typical Nigerian psyche now. What I call short-termism and instant gratification. Everybody wanted a miracle. And like our chairman said, people were after more miracle than more work. We know the result. We have become today the poorest nation on earth in terms of the quantum of poor people.
As I listened to him, I had tears in my eyes because he spoke to me twice. I had no idea he went through what he just told us, because he never betrayed it. But he never told me he was going through what, and I now, in retrospect, I'm feeling very bad, and I feel like I was not sensitive enough. Maybe I ought to have picked it up, and I ought to have known, at least to add my own prayers to all the prayers that he was receiving. But I'm extremely happy. Not many people have this kind of stories to tell, to go through the experience he had gone through and come out the way he has come out.
The author himself shared his testimony.
I wrote this book to thank God, to declare publicly that it's God that saved me. You know, the Bible says the name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous run into it and is safe. At critical times, I prayed it. Because he didn't put me or my wife or my children to shame.
And it was time to unveil the book. Surviving the type of illness Obasi did and living to write about it is a miracle that the author and his guests were obviously glad to celebrate on this day.